crystal clear. I make magic with these hundreds, watch them disappear. Big ol' raindrops up in my ear. If you gon' name drop, let's get it clear. Jessie, VVS, I just turn the water on. Big ol' flex, shit you never saw before. These niggas chasing me like waterfalls.
What's up, guys? Welcome back to my channel. It's your sister, Jessie Woo. Thank you so much for coming back to my channel. If you're new here, make sure that you subscribe so you can join the Black Women's Tribe during Black Women's, I'm tired as a Black Woman month. I am tired as a Black Women's month. That's what Black Women's month it is, child. Y'all, this is a special episode of Just a Couple Things. I have an exclusive with you all, but before I get into the exclusive, I want to thank Storytime with Rikki. Rikki went out of her way to make this happen. This interview is all her doing. So I want to thank her again for collabing with me on this. But yeah, without further ado, let's get into this exclusive Love is Blind DC interview with BRI Thomas. All right, guys. So our special guest for the day, many of you guys who have watched Love is Blind, you know who she is. Before we get into her, you all know who my partner in crime is, Storytime with Rikki. How are you, Rikki?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. Thank you so much for doing this collab with me again. It's such an honor to have you back. And you know what? I'll let you do the honors of introducing our special guest.
Well, I don't think she needs an introduction, but our special guest is BRI. If you guys do not know who BRI is, she is the mother of Tyler's 3 children. So obviously she's been in the past 4 weeks have been crazy for her. So we really appreciate her sitting down with us today to just kind of go over her side of things. You know, I think all sides are out, and the only person who hasn't sat down with somebody is BRI. So we're so honored to have her speaking with us today. So
thank you so much for doing this. I mean, first of all, I think both of us just want to tell you we apologize for everything that's transpired. We know that you wouldn't be having this conversation with us had your children not been mentioned in the way they were mentioned on national television. And so for us, this sit down is just about clarity, about you being able to just tell your side. You know, what do you hope to accomplish by sitting down with us today and telling us, you know, exactly what has taken place?
Yeah, I want to first start off by saying thank y'all for giving me this opportunity to say my side of the story. I want to make it clear, in no way, shape, or form am I here to, like I've said it before when I'm posting my own videos, I'm not trying to bash anyone. My intentions is not to purposely hurt anyone from this. Also, in no way, shape, or form is this in any hopes of Tyler or Ashley coming around and being a part of the kids' lives. Because for me, after everything that's transpired, that's just not an option for me anymore. So yeah, again, like I do not want someone to be hurting because of anything that I said. But at the same time, I'm constantly being called a liar at this point. So it's just time to clear things up even more than I already did.
Yeah. Why did you ever say anything to begin with? I think I just want to make that clear before we all get into the nitty gritty. Why did you ever even feel the need to come to social media and say anything?
Yeah. So when the show first aired, I knew when it was going to air. There was posts that Netflix, I think, posted hey, this is going to be aired on October 2nd. I was super anxious about it. I was like, I'm not ready for this. I didn't know what was going to be said, but I was not ready because you have to remember at this point, Tyler had already not been a part of their lives for, I guess that would have been a year. But I was watching the show, or I would get on social media and I see things like being said on the show, and my kids are being mentioned as sperm babies, and that just was not the truth. So I said from beginning, like, I'm not gonna say anything. Like in the very first few episodes, Tyler, they talk about children. That's hurtful because you already have children, and I know this. But I'm not gonna say something about that because my children have not been referenced specifically,
Mhm.
or
Mhm.
me. So I'm not talking about anything that that's outside of my children or me. So when it was said, like, yeah, I have kids, they're sperm babies. Okay, now I feel like I need to say something because that's a lie against me and my children specifically. So I'm not reaching out to comment, or I'm not responding to commenters
Mhm.
or people in my DMs. It's specifically what Tyler is saying, or people in his inner circle are saying on his behalf. And unfortunately, now Ashley is saying.
Mhm. Mhm. And rightfully so.
Yeah. Yeah. So I think today what would just make everything crystal clear for everybody is if we go through a timeline. If we
Yeah.
start beginning with Cairo, which is your first son, and we go all the way up into where we're at now, there will leave very little room for error because I feel like there's so many gaps, there's so many half truths being spilled. And at this point we have everyone's side, and now we're going to start from the beginning so that there's no more confusion.
Mhm.
So I guess let's start with Cairo. Cairo was originally supposed to be a donor. Tyler was supposed to be your donor for your first son.
Right.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yes, I was married at the time. We agreed I would get pregnant and have a child. And Tyler, and he wasn't the only one that offered to donate sperm, but
Mhm.
we chose Tyler. Um, and yeah, he was the sperm donor. We tried multiple months, and he was the sperm donor for Cairo.
Okay. So for Cairo, was there a agreement? Was Tyler supposed to be his father? Did you ask Tyler specifically, hey, although this is a sperm donor situation, I'm married, I still want you to play father to this boy that we had together? Like, make it plain to us, how did Tyler go from sperm donor to father?
Yeah, no, he was not supposed to be a father to Cairo. Um, I planned to have this child with a woman. I didn't I didn't feel the need like Kai needed a father figure. Like I have my dad. I have a lot of male friends. Um, so no, he was not supposed to be a father figure. However, things were rocky between me and my now ex-wife. And she left very early on in after Cairo's birth. Very early. Like I want to say a couple weeks after Cairo was born. She
Mhm.
moved, I should say. She moved back to California.
Mhm.
Um, Tyler asked me, I did not reach out to Tyler and ask him to please step up and be Cairo's other father. In my mind, I was going to now be a single mom to
Mm.
one child.
Mm.
Tyler reached out to me. He said that he did not want Cairo to be raised by a single mom. And we had this conversation like, hey, okay, well, let me make sure you know you don't have children yet. So make sure that you know this means spending time with him. This means a financial responsibility. This means helping out, like picking him up from daycare, taking him to daycare. Like if you are stepping up as his father, I would like help in
Mhm.
regards to all of those things. And if
Mhm.
you can't do that, then that's totally fine. Like you don't have to step up. He agreed. We both agreed. I said, let me think about it. It took me a couple days. Talked to like my best friend, like, hey, this is like Tyler's asking to be his dad or step in as his dad. And I ultimately I agreed, like, okay, like, yes, you are biologically his dad.
Yeah.
To me at the time, this is admirable. Like, thank you for doing this. Like, sure, Cairo's gonna have another parent. Um, yeah, I never reached out to him and asked him for this. But I was grateful that he did want to step in. And this was before in Deshaun was like in before any kind of custody battle. This was
Okay.
him purely doing this because he felt that Cairo was going to be raised by a single mom and
Okay.
he wanted to step up.
Okay.
So this was, so to be clear, this is your ex-wife already left, but no, neither one of you guys have, you both at this point still have split custody of Cairo, you and your ex.
So there's no legal documentation,
Okay.
but she moved to California. She was on the birth certificate. And like there was never any custody like agreement, but
Yeah.
she
So,
did.
Well, you guys were married.
yeah.
Yeah.
You
Yes,
married.
and we were still married. Yes.
Right. You guys were married. The child was born within the marriage. So legally, from what I understand, especially like in your state, I know sometimes it varies from state to state, but in your state, if a child is born into a marriage, automatically the married folks go on the birth certificate.
Right.
So when do we move from Tyler stepping up to Tyler becoming the father for real, and now he is involved daily in Cairo's life?
Okay, so when Tyler asked me to step up and be a father to Cairo, I was in Louisiana on maternity leave. And like I already said, we like agreed, and he flew to Louisiana. He was in Louisiana, I want to say in November of 2017, because we agreed that he was going to step up as a father. So he was coming out to spend time with his newborn. So he flew to Louisiana. That's less than 2 months after Cairo was born. And that's when he didn't stay there my whole maternity leave, but he flew in and then went back to Maryland. And that's from then on, he's been Cairo's dad.
And what year was this?
2017.
2017. Okay, 2017. So from then on, he's been in his life, and he's been a father. Was he seeing Cairo all the time, or was he seeing Cairo just on holidays? Because we're gonna get to this later, but there was an interview with Ashley that she did on the Vow Files where she's saying that he was never around the children, other than stopping by for holidays.
Yeah, no, that is not true. Another hurtful statement, since you just brought up this interview and I listened to it. There was never any intimate moment with these kids. I have videos of him playing basketball with Cairo. Anyways,
Yeah.
yeah.
That's what she says. She says there's never any intimate moments. And let's just keep in mind too, she wasn't around. She doesn't know this.
Yeah, for sure. 100%.
Right.
I said this to Ashley, like I have nothing against Ashley. Okay. So I'm not trying to bash her. She doesn't know the full story. That's evident. But yes, there were intimate moments. What was your question? Original question?
That was he just coming on in the holidays, or was
Okay,
he
no.
spending, yeah.
Sorry, no, it was not just for holidays. He, like I just said, he flew out to Louisiana. That wasn't a holiday. He was trying to spend time with his newborn child. This was not just for holidays.
Okay.
We weren't living together then, but we did live in the same apartment building when I had Cairo. So he would see Cairo all the time. I was working 12-hour shifts. When I worked nights, I'm like, hey, keep your son. He would keep Cairo. Like, so yeah,
Okay.
no, it wasn't just holidays.
Okay. And so we move on to the twins. So the twins come around about a year later, right?
I got pregnant before Cairo turned 1. Yes.
Okay. So the twins come around pretty much right after Cairo. You have them kind of back to back. Was this supposed to be a donor situation as well? Because
No.
by then you are still legally married, but you're separated at this time. And from the court documentations that we were able to pull up when I did my live with Simone, it looks like you were like in separation mode, then, you know, divorce mode. So when we get to the twins, what is the understanding of that? Is that also a donor situation?
No. The twins, quite frankly, were a mistake. Was never planning on having multiple kids with Tyler. We had sex and I got pregnant, and there was never an agreement about parenting these children because I had sex and I got pregnant. So you're the dad, I'm the mom. We already have a son that we are agreeing to, and we were gonna have 3 children.
Yeah. And just so that the audience is clear, because I know Ashley did state in her interview today that the twins were also like, she kind of just tried to group them in on your agreement with Cairo, and, you know, was basically saying that you got pregnant, like, you know, while you were still with your ex-wife, is what she was implying. And I want to make that clear. That is not the case. She was far removed by the time you got pregnant with the twins.
Deshaun, or my ex-wife, left a couple weeks after Cairo was born. So I'll guesstimate October of 2017. The twins were born in April 9th, 2019. We can do math. I got pregnant in 2018. She was
far removed
around.
Yeah. And when me and Jessie spoke with your ex-wife, she actually mentioned that you actually considered not keeping the twins, and that was a decision you and Tyler came up with together to keep them. Can you tell us a little bit more about that?
Yeah. I did not plan on having multiple kids with Tyler. That was not the plan. I even went to a clinic to terminate the pregnancy. And when I got there, I found out that I was having twins. I did not know before that. And after I found out that there was 2 babies in there, I could not go through with that. Tyler supported that decision. And we left the clinic. He was there with me at the clinic. And we left the clinic. We hugged. We were like, "Yep, we're about to have." Like, he understood. Like, yeah, I can't do this with multiples inside of me. And we left the clinic, knowing we were going to be parents of 3.
Can you talk to me about? So now you have 3 children, right? There's a point in time where you all are living together. What is that like? What is Tyler's responsibility? Talk to me about that.
Yeah, so when I was pregnant with the twins, he moved some stuff up. We were living in the same apartment building. I already said that. He moved a lot of stuff up upstairs into my apartment. It was a 2-bedroom apartment. And so he would just stay in there or stay with me to help me out with Cairo because I'm pregnant with twins. And we would go to like doctor's appointments together and stuff like that. But he did still have his apartment downstairs. And then as it got closer to the twins being born, we needed more space. We rented a house together to have a lot more space for these multiple children. And like I said in my other video, like, he stayed in the basement, I stayed in the main bedroom. Like, we just lived in the house together to co-parent these 3 children together.
Yeah, and when I did a live with attorney Simone Redwine, we were able to see legally too that you guys were living at the same address for some time. So you all were a family.
Yes.
Was he financially responsible also for the children?
Yes. And there's receipts of this, but he wasn't on like child support legally, but I would say like, hey, the kids need this, and he would just send me money, or he would just go get it himself. We didn't really have issues with money uh, prior to me being feeling forced to put him on child support, but he would help out financially, um, and we would just take care of these kids together.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So at what point? So now we've got it clear. Cairo and the twins, you guys are living together as a family. Was there ever any shift in the relationship with Tyler, or Tyler's relationship with the kids?
After we moved out of this house that we were renting together, we went our separate ways because we were arguing a lot about, I felt like he could be doing more. Like the Cairo was under 2, and I have twins that are babies, and I felt like, hey, like I need you to do more with simple stuff like giving baths, and we were just arguing a lot. um so we went our separate ways, and at some point in 2021, um he we got into another argument. This time it was about financials. And he stopped responding and basically cut me without telling me. He just stopped responding. He cut me and the children off. This was March of 2021. We stopped living in this house together late 2019. So he was still around after we moved out of this house for a good amount of time, but in late March of 2021 he did cut ties with us. And we didn't hear from him until late March of 2022.
Okay, so we just about a year.
Yeah.
This is kind of like, I just thought about this, but this would be going a little backwards. But if you want to speak on this, you can. If you don't, you don't have to. There was someone who was in Tyler's life who said that she was his fiance, and that when going back to when you were pregnant with Cairo, that he brought her to your gender reveal, but didn't tell her that Cairo was his son. Were you privy to that?
I didn't know if he told her or not.
But you knew that she was his fiance.
Yeah, for sure. We were, yeah, I was around her. She did come to our gender reveal. But it was a donor situation. I didn't think it was like such a bad thing. If he was hiding it, okay, then yes, I see how that's like.
Yeah.
That sucks for her, which I later found out, obviously, like that he did, and she didn't know, and it just turned into a very bad situation. But that was not like, I wasn't doing it behind her back. It was
no, not you. I mean, she was his fiance. I'm thinking he should tell her. You know what I mean? Like,
right. I think that was what was always confusing for me, right? If it's this innocent donor situation, why not share that with fiance? To say, hey, I'm helping my friends conceive, like, so it seems like a weird omission.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very weird. So we're on the twins. Ricky, did you want to?
Yeah. So so now we know that I think it's important to point out, because I just feel like from Ashley's interview, again, we're getting like a little bit more of her truth, and she is under this impression that he has never been consistent. He's never been there on a daily basis. And so now we're at this point where he actually does disappear, which I feel like this might be what Tyler is talking about. And this is what she's talking about. It was just 1 year of their lives, and it was because you found out that he was in another relationship, right? So
originally it was because it was a financial disagreement. He asked to claim the kids on his taxes. I did not agree because, like I said, we disagreed a lot about like, hey, you could be doing more with the kids. So it was a disagreement about that. and then he cut them off. I found out later.
Go ahead.
I'm,
I'm sorry.
I found out later that he had indeed fell in love with someone else. Um, I don't know much about her. I just know her name's Andrea. He fell in love, and it would seem like again fell in love, cut off, decided like, hey, maybe I don't want kids, or
Yeah.
maybe I was just a sperm donor, or whatever fits the story that he needs to tell.
So that
And
he
so
goes,
that's how it was seen.
This is a pattern. This is a
yeah,
pattern.
yeah,
Because I've spoken to a few of Tyler's exes, and they said the same thing, that he would tell them he didn't have children, that he was a donor. And, a few of them had seen, baby stuff at his apartment, and they thought it was strange. So is this the first time, this whole Love is Blind fiasco, is this the first time that you've heard Tyler referring to your children as sperm babies?
Yes, I never agreed. We never had this agreement like, hey, yeah, it's fine for you to say like that you donated sperm. Um, so that was never an agreement of ours. And he never told me that he tells people this. Um, so it was definitely, yeah, very painful to hear on national television, like, oh, this is how you refer to them. I didn't know that.
because yeah, it's very clear he was going around doing that. My thing though is, so he's saying these are his sperm babies, but he was trying to claim the sperm babies on his taxes.
I didn't even think of that, but yeah.
That's
Okay, right. And then also, just for the record, for the twins, who is on the birth certificate?
Yeah, Tyler is definitely on the birth certificate. He cut the umbilical cords. I had a C-section. He was there. He often tells stories about like how he had to see my stomach like
Yep.
completely cut open. Yeah, here's a video of him. We're at it's of me at the doctor ultrasound for the twins. I don't know, guess maybe he felt like I was forcing him to record these videos. I don't know what the next story is going to be,
Right.
but
Yeah.
yeah.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
So Love is Blind is the first time that you hear, and just so people know, like it's nothing wrong with sperm donor babies. Like it's nothing wrong with that. It's just what makes this quite disgusting is that that's not the case, right?
Exactly.
And so you have BRI, who had children voluntarily with this man. This man was living with her. Also, according to the courts, he also fought in the court for the kids. Did he not?
So if you're saying when I had to go to court about custody for Cairo, yes, he was there with me. Yes, if that's what you're referencing, yes.
Exactly. Because that's what we saw in the court documents and the live that I did. And so again, this is someone who was in these children's lives as their biological father for 7 years. Just want to make that clear that this was not, we were past donorship.
100%.
This is family, fatherhood, children with their father and mother, period. And so you see the show, you see what he's, I can't even imagine what it's like for you as a mom. Like, can you tell us, you as a mom, hearing that, what was going on through your mind, your heart? Like, what was that like?
Yeah, like I already said, like even in the very beginning where he's saying like, how many kids do you want? And like just speaking about kids in general, not even mine. That was very hard. Um, yeah, that it's very hard to see on national TV like someone who's supposed to love these kids just as much as I do. Um, he clearly does not, and is okay with like maybe they'll see this one day and you're okay with them seeing, this lie. And it's not like they don't know him. They they definitely like they see a picture of if I showed them a picture right now, they would just be like, "Oh, that's my dad." So yeah, knowing how bad this would hurt them, I'm hoping and praying that I can make sure they never see this. I can't protect them from everything.
Yeah.
But if they do, I know this is going to crush them. They absolutely adore him. Um, and so, yeah, there was a lot of tears throughout this. I was upset plenty of nights. I was angry plenty of nights. I try to keep a calm head and, like not just act off of emotions, which is very hard.
Yeah.
And not just put everything that I have on social media for the world to see. I tried to talk to him. I tried to talk to Ashley.
We were gonna
Um,
ask that.
yeah,
Like,
sorry, I'm getting
yeah,
ahead of myself,
no,
but
good. Actually, you're right where I think we both want you.
Right.
Which
I think I just wanted to know if any conversations were had with Tyler prior to going on the show. Yeah, what conversations were had, because I know you in one of your videos said he was with you the night before he left to the show. He was with the
yeah. We were friends,
yeah.
right? That was my best friend. So he was around, even though we had these disagreements often about like, like how he could be doing more for the children. If I was going through stuff, I would reach out to Tyler. If he's going through stuff, like we're talking about it. We were friends. He was here before he left. He came over here to, let me know that he was going on the show. This was like weeks before or however long before he found out. But the day before he left, he was here. A couple days before that, he was at Cairo's football game. There's videos of that. There's text messages of him coming over here the day before. um he was here and we had a conversation and we're just talking like as friends, and I'm like, that'll be crazy if you actually get married, because I'm a fan of the show. I've been a fan since season one. And I was like, that would be so crazy. And he's just like, yeah, you could come to the wedding, the kids would be at the wedding. I'm like, yeah, you better invite me, like, that's my boy. So we're talking about stuff like that. I'm like, don't embarrass me on this like TV show, on national TV. He's like, no, I would never do that. We're just like talking about like it's nothing. And he came over here before he left, and I'm texting him the day that he leaves. I offered to give him a ride to the airport. I'm saying like, good luck. Actually try this out. Actually see if this will work for you. Like, he didn't think it would work, and I'm like, actually try. Like, maybe you'll really fall in love. Maybe you'll find your happiness. I know that's what you want.
so you were
Yeah,
supportive. You were
yeah,
supportive.
100% supportive. 100%.
See that in the that you shared with us, that you were like supportive. Was it a concern for you knowing that he's cut them off before when he's found love? Was it a concern that him going on this show and finding love that he might do this again? Was it a genuine concern?
It crossed my mind for sure, because it had happened before. But he reassured me. He was like, "Bri, I love you. I love these children. I would never do that to y'all again." And I wanted to believe him. I wanted to believe he would never do this again, because if I thought he would do this again, he would have never been back. I would have never allowed him to come back into my children's lives, because I'm not playing with my children like that. So I wanted to believe that he was telling the truth, and I did believe him. And you will see, I sent messages, videos of the kids telling him happy birthday while he's in the pods, and all. I just would not do that to my children.
Yeah.
If I knew that he would like cut them off when he came back. I'm not putting my kids through that, because my kids are absolutely most important in my lives and in my life. And I just would never do that. The video that you're showing right there, I have the actual video, but that's him at Kai's football game like a
I just
couple
wanted to
days
show
before
I
he
just wanted to
left.
show the
And
date.
it's dated like September 30th or something like that. And
September 29th. This is September 29th, 2023. So this is what, 2 days before he goes.
Yeah, that's him at Kai's game on the 30th. If you keep scrolling, there's messages. He came to my house. He's telling me like, oh, he's coming. And he came, he said bye. Keep scrolling. There's messages like, hey, like, did you need a ride to the airport? He tells me he got a ride. Then if you keep scrolling, there's messages like, hey, look what's, everyone who knows me knows I'm a huge fan of Harry Potter. Tyler obviously knows this. He's like, hey, look at the videos that's on here. I'm like, you should watch them. Like, we're just like that. That's my friend. Like,
This
I'm
is
like, have you landed yet? I'm so nervous for
yeah.
you. Like, good luck. We love you.
No, literally, you said that. You say, OMG, I'm so nervous for you. LOL. But anyway, good luck and have fun and happy early birthday. We love you. Like, this is in the text messages.
Yeah. And he says, I love you guys too, doesn't he? What?
Yeah, I love y'all too. I know this is the video that you sent of the kids saying happy birthday. Because I remember you saying that in your video that you put on your Instagram, where you were saying we even sent him a video of the kids saying happy birthday because you haven't heard from him in a bit. He comes back, I'm alive. I got selected to be followed, just came back from Cabo. And you're like, good for you. We knew you would. Hopefully it was a good vacay. I have so many questions. Like, you are so supportive.
Yeah.
It's pretty sad actually, but yeah.
No,
I
like,
was.
you're so supportive. Yeah, I'm sure that's awkward. How does it feel to be engaged? LOL. When will we be able to see you? You know, and here he is. It's weird as hell. It's scariest day of my life. Proposing through a blue wall. I'm not sure yet. I'll know tonight. He says we have a meeting with the creator of the show and our producers to figure out what's next in a few weeks. You said, well, I want to know more. LOL. How's it going with y'all now that you have seen each other? This is crazy. He says it's cool. She doesn't look like anyone I've ever dated. I'll just say that. LOL. And then he says, but she's so damn nice. Ashley, you do with that what you will. But you're literally just extremely, extremely supportive.
Right. Which that's important because I think there's this narrative out there that BRI just wanted him so like wanted her family image so bad, and it's like it's actually these texts are showing the complete opposite. She is so supportive in finding a wife.
Complete opposite. People can, stop when they want to. But there is a moment where, okay, we start to kind of see a shift. But even with you said, okay, well, when is the wedding? So I know when I can tell the kids, they can expect to hopefully see or hear from their dad again. Like, this is heartbreaking. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Like, this is heartbreaking.
Yeah.
Like, I'm reading this and I'm like, I'm not even you, but I'm upset because it's like, because I can recall even watching the wedding and seeing two ballerinas. I'm like, well, damn, them could have been the kids. The kids could have walked down the aisle. Like, literally, we should discuss your rights when you find some time so we can.
Yeah, because as you can see, there's a shift. Like, at first he's telling me about how it is when he comes back from the show. Then all of a sudden I'm like, hey, when are they going to see you? And then it's like I'm getting responses less and less, or like more and more excuses. And I'm like, all right, like, do we need to talk about your rights? Like, what are you, what's happening here? Because now I'm like, okay, now by this time I'm like, oh, he deleted his Facebook. I noticed this. And I'm like, okay, I'm not an idiot. I'm not an idiot. You've done this before.
Yeah.
What's happening? Like, okay, so he's trying to leave their lives again. Like, just say it. Just tell me. I want you to tell me.
So he had started to delete his socials.
Yes, that happened. I don't know when exactly it happened. I know I noticed around this same time where I'm like, hey, when are the kids gonna see you? And he's like, oh, we record every second of the day, and I don't know, whatever excuses he had. And I'm like, okay, but you have children and they haven't seen you since September 30th. Like, don't forget you got children. They would love to see you, or at least comment and acknowledge the video that I had them send you. Because
like I think you start seeing him get real, like the responses get far in between. I think if you're looking at the dates, that's like weeks in between. He'll like give you a little something. Is the month on those? Because that must have been after he got married.
October is cool. October, everything's still cool. It's when they get into November,
which were the weddings.
that's when things start getting tricky.
Okay.
Well, that's when things start getting vague. Like you can see, it's a whole bunch of blue text messages. And then he's saying, I have not had my phone since the first week back. We film all day until 10-11 p.m. and they are back at 10 a.m. to take my phone, which is a lie because everybody has their phone once they're out of the pods.
Exactly. And
They
I'm a fan
literally,
of the show, and so I know this.
Yeah, good point. Yeah.
that is literally the thing. You come out of the pods, you come back from the honeymoon or vacay, whatever, they give you your phones. So this is a flat out lie. And then you see Bride, okay, well then, then she's asking about the wedding. Can the kids come? Then she talks about the rights because he's not answering. Like literally November 7, he doesn't text you. You text him November 28.
Exactly. By the way, he's married by then.
Yeah,
And
but
I knew this because I saw on his mom's page a picture of her super dressed up, and I know that's how they went on the show. And I'm like, he
Okay.
already got married. I didn't know because someone told me, but I can put two and two together. And that's why I'm like, okay, so clearly we didn't get invited to the wedding. Clearly
Yeah.
you're not trying to reach out. And so I was like, let me see. I need to get your attention. You need to answer some questions.
Yeah.
Do we need to talk about your rights?
Yeah.
He still didn't respond. And then I said something else. And then I think he responded.
Yeah. You said no response again. Shake my head. I just wish I knew what I had to do, to deserve this. But okay, you're making this much more difficult than it has to be. I wish you the absolute best. However, I'll be praying for you. And he says, I didn't even see this first message. I'll be in LA until the middle of December. Just let me know what you need from me. I'm not trying to make anything hard, which is a lie. The weddings are over. You're done.
Yeah.
Literally done. So you're not in LA. You say need from you as far as what? He says when would you like to talk? So we kind of see that's when everything really starts getting to be to take a sharp turn. And he says, I don't have any end goals. I haven't been anything close to a dad. So I'm assuming giving up my rights is something you want since you mentioned it. I was just responding to your first text and I haven't had any means to help. And see, and you ain't got to say this. I'm going to say it. This is the manipulation. That's the manipulation because he knows he hasn't been answering.
Yeah.
So,
and he knows by this point, and he knows he doesn't want his rights by this point. Like, let's keep it
a buck. Let's keep it up. So I think the thing too is it's good to show these messages because on the podcast, on the Nick Vale podcast, you have Ashley who says Tyler cut off communication with you since 2022 or earlier. And when we look at these text messages, that's simply not true. She says he cut off communication with you and the children a year before they went on the show. And these text messages show that Liler was with them kids.
Yeah. That you guys up through October. He didn't cut you guys off at all. He was still communicating with you. So again, lie exposed.
Yeah. So now we have you on socials. You're telling, hey, like, this is your side of the story. At this point, like, is Tyler reaching out? Have you reached out to Tyler? What is happening?
Yeah. No, I refused to reach out, to be the first person to reach out to him. And I do want to note, I'm pretty sure I heard Ashley say, like, she even told him, like, hey, you should reach out to her, even though she didn't know the full story. Hey, you should reach out to her and let her know it's coming. That would be more respectful. And I feel like I'm so easy to get along with. Like, we probably could have, I don't know, just warn me. I would have still been mad because you went on there and lied, but I don't know, a warning would have been nice. But I was not reaching out to him first. And plus, I thought I was blocked. I haven't tried to reach out to him. That's just not who I am. I'm not going to reach out to you multiple times like, hey, please talk to me, or hey, please be in my children's lives. Like, no, you don't want to be a part of their lives? Fine. Uh, Pay your child support and I'll go on about my life. I'll be a single parent, whatever I need to do. But so no, I haven't reached out to him. He reached out to me after I posted something on my story. I'm pretty sure it was my warning.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm willing to expose absolutely anything I need to expose if I keep being lied on. I made that clear very early on.
Yeah. If my
And
children,
I think that was when he reached out to me the first time, and he apologized and said, hey, I'm going to clear everything up. I'm sorry about everything that's happening. He did try to like blame other people. Like if these people weren't like commenting, I want to say he said like my ex-wife, if these people weren't commenting, like none of this would be happening. And he was just like, I'm clearing everything up at the reunion. And I was like, I don't know if
he never took accountability for being the one to go on camera to lie.
That will never happen.
Did he hit you up from his dog Kobe's Instagram page? I'm just asking.
Sorry, that's funny to me. No, no, I've never heard from Kobe.
No, you never heard from Kobe?
Oh,
It wasn't.
okay. Ashley says that on the Vow Files that you reached out to Tyler.
No, he said no. What she said.
Oh no.
BRI had Tyler blocked, which is not true. And
not true. I'm blocked.
Yeah, exactly. And then that Tyler had to go out of his way and reach out to BRI through the dog's Instagram page.
No, I will make it clear if Tyler wants to reach out to me, he knows how, since I have emails from him from February, March, because he was upset that I was pushing for child support. So I will say, if he wanted to reach out to me, he wouldn't have to go through Kobe. That's really hilarious to me. No, I never heard from Kobe. Or
so he just called you.
Yes, he called me. And it was not a great conversation. I was very upset because all of this was new. Right. And so I'm like crying. I'm like, you promised you would never do this to me again. Why would you do this? And he's like, Brian, I'm sorry. I'm at the airport right now, about to go film the reunion. I'm going to clear all this up. And we talked for a while, or I don't remember how long, but he said he was going to clear everything up. And I was just like, I'm so angry with you. Like, you didn't have to do this to me. I didn't deserve this. I supported you. All the same things that I've been saying. And I told him, I was like, so you're telling me I should wait until the reunion before I say anything? And he was like, yes, I'm going to clear everything up. And if I'm being honest, I considered it because like I'm a private person. I know it doesn't seem like it now because now everything's out there.
No,
but
yeah.
We
understand.
Yeah, I considered like, okay, maybe I should just wait. And just like it seems like other people, like I really did want to believe him. I want to believe that you are going to be honest and you're going to clear everything up. And this was some sort of mistake. I don't know. And good thing I didn't wait to for him to clear everything up, because as I told him, hey, I ended up calling him like later, a few days later. I was like, hey, I'm not waiting until the reunion. I am going to post my side of the story. And I feel like that's fine, because if you really are going to clear everything up, whatever you say will match my story. And I told him this.
Period.
And I also offered, hey, I don't want anything that I say to be a surprise to Ashley. I genuinely do not want her to be hurting from this, because poor thing, she only is able to say what is being told to her. She was not there. And I don't blame her for anything that she's said, because she was not there and all she can do is say what she has been told. Yeah. So I said, hey, I want to provide the opportunity for me and her to have a talk. That way she's not surprised by anything that comes out. And he said, give me a day. Let me see if she wants to talk to you and I'll let you know. I said, you have one day. We agreed to one day. I ended up giving him 2 days because it's not easy for me to, like put out all my business. So he ended up having 2 days, didn't hear anything back. And I posted my side of the story, and then I got blocked by
So
Ashley.
that's why. So that's what made you end up giving your side. You gave him time to have her and you be able to facilitate a conversation, and he never responded, basically.
No, he never came back to me and said, and this is no fault to Ashley. I don't know if he even told her, right?
Right.
I had no idea.
Right.
I told him, and I didn't hear anything back. So I was like, all right, well, guess we're good. I guess I'm gonna, tell my side of the story. Not my side. It's not even my side. It's the truth. I'm gonna tell the truth.
Yeah.
Yeah.
To me, it's quite obvious that he was trying to get you to be quiet before that reunion was filmed, because these interviews that we're seeing, Nick Vile, the other one she did, like I've got the receipts, those were all filmed within the same week. So if had your videos been out that week, they would have had to question about what you said.
Yep.
But because they weren't, he could use your statement that you posted and say, oh, but she deleted it. So that's all they had to go on by the time these episodes were aired. And I know you mentioned that you got blocked. I understand Ashley blocked you once you posted your original videos. Is that correct?
Yeah, that's correct.
Yeah.
But let's back up a bit, because on the Vile Files, Ashley says that you reached out to her and that you apologized to her. Can you kind of
Yeah.
Mhm.
I will say I am very sad that the way that I intended those messages to come to her, she didn't receive it the way I intended. I was not apologizing for me, I don't know, causing stress in their lives. I reached out to her because I imagined my life had already started flipping upside down. And I imagine the same was happening for her. And at the time, I assumed that she did not know the full truth and that she was just getting all this backlash from people off of, it's something that wasn't her fault. And so I reached out to her and I'm like, hey, like, I'm so sorry that all this is happening. Basically, like, I'm sorry that that the truth is causing issues for you, or like you're getting backlash from the truth when you didn't have like a say, you didn't have an option because you didn't know the truth, is what I thought in my mind. I
Yeah.
was not apologizing, I don't know, I guess for some lie. Like I didn't lie about anything that I said.
Yeah.
Yeah, because that's how she.
Funny. Yeah.
Yeah, the way she's.
If you read those DMs, like,
Yeah, let's read them.
Very clear to me that you were not apologizing, saying like, I'm sorry, I've wronged you. That's not how you were apologizing.
Yeah, here is what Bri says. Hi, super hard for me to write you right now, but I just wanted to say I hope you are okay, and I'm praying for you and Tyler both. A lot is happening right now, and I just never wanted to intentionally cause you any pain. I won't say much in this forum, but just wanted to reach out and say I hope you are okay. Completely understandable if you never respond to me. I'm sure your world is just as crazy, if not more so, than mine right now. I wish you the best. Ashley says, hi, was surprised to get the message, but I welcome it. But I welcome it as well. Getting attacked daily on social media is never fun, but I'm strong. Thanks for reaching out. Before we even continue, I'm sorry. So we ain't gonna ask Bri, hey, I'm so sorry about the kids. We're not gonna apologize about the kids. So
And to me,
nobody cares.
Yeah, to me this is ridiculous that this is the first time that you are reaching out. She said on a previous podcast, we have the receipts, I did a deep dive, I talked to everybody involved, but you didn't talk to the mother of his children until she had to reach out to you while the show was airing. Like, y'all have been married and he's been absent for a year at this point, and you never reached out to her.
Mind you, she says on Vibe Files, I saw pictures, I saw birth certificates, and you never thought, let me talk to this woman. Let me talk to the mother. She even talked about falling in love with Cairo through his pictures. I'm just like, so you were all that love. You wasn't moved to call the mama.
Yeah. Yeah.
You weren't moved to call the mama. And
Yeah.
so here goes Bride. Yeah, social media is deaf wild, and I was not ready for it all. LOL. I'm really sorry. I'm sure it will all pass. Stay strong. So this is not Bride apologizing about doing anything. She's apologizing about the aftermath of everything, and she's letting it be known, yo, like, I don't have any ill intention here. Like,
Yeah.
I didn't expect this.
Yeah.
And I mean, respectfully, not, I hope you don't take this the wrong way, Bride, but you don't come across as like somebody who's trying to be an influencer, somebody who's trying to build a platform. It's not given that. So I don't think for you that you were trying to build something off this. It's just, yo, y'all talked about my kids. I gotta, like, I'm their mother.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm
for
their
sure.
mother.
And she came off super nice. And even like if I wanted, I don't know, whatever this thought is, like I didn't share these messages with anyone prior to this. Like I'm not out here like, hey, look, she talked to me. Like I don't want any of
Yeah.
this drama. I'm just being who I am, and I still feel sorry for you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And what's happening to all of us, honestly. So I just was reaching out, and now, like, I don't know. It sucks that she didn't receive it, like I said, how I intended.
Well, she does say, she says, hello, I wasn't around for your convo with Tyler.
So this is different. This is after Tyler reached out to me and we had to talk about how he was going to clear everything up. This is separate from
Okay.
that initial
So
conversation.
the initial was just like a reach out, like this sucks
Yeah.
that I'm going through this, like hoping this all blows over soon type deal. And then you get this message, this top message from her.
So
Yes.
she says, hello, I wasn't around for your convo with Tyler, but I would like to have a convo with you as well at some point. This thing has turned filthy. I've never given my energy to so much negativity and evil in my life. For reference, Tyler told me a lot off camera to avoid this very thing happening. Now I'm seeing birth certificates out there and more. It's just out of hand. I know I technically was not an involved party at the time of y'all's agreement, etc. But we all are adults, so would like to speak with you directly. So if you're open to it, no pressure. You say hi, that's fine with me. Are you looking for clarity on Tyler and its situation? She says, not necessarily clarity though. Girl, what the fuck you looking for? I'm sorry, Brian. I'm sorry. Girl, what the fuck you looking for?
No, that's a good question. I was confused too. I was like, okay, why are we
Oh, what?
talking? And I wasn't trying to be rude though, so I was just like, what are you looking for clarity? Like why do we need to speak?
Yeah.
So she said, not necessarily clarity though. I welcome your perspective. Girl,
Yeah.
what?
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm sorry.
The language is wild. Like I welcome what you gotta say, but
oh my God. There are children. There are 3 children. Ma'am, I welcome your perspective side of it all. I'm a girl's girl.
I welcome your side. Like I'm not going to tell you what your truth is. I welcome your side.
I'm a girl's girl and don't want to say what your truth is, but I just think it's due time for you and I to have a chat, given that I'm being hounded via social media about everything. You say, I completely understand. All of this is whooping my ass mentally. I'm down to talk with you though. She says, cool. When would be good for you? You say, are we doing this on the phone? And then she hits you back with, hey, so I've heard your mother put out another video. I wanted to meet with you, honestly, just to put all this to bed and to hear you out as well, if you'd like. And to actually show that the overall goal for us has always been protecting the innocent parties here. Truly, that includes what we decided to share or not share while filming to avoid the very thing that is happening now. My heart and my intentions are always in the right place, and I wish you knew me in real life to know that. But now I have to say I'm a little uneasy with meeting up just because it's gotten so messy. You respond, hey, I honestly don't know what you know and what you don't know, but the fact that my mom is pissed off is warranted, period. In my opinion, I can't pretend that I am not also very hurt and angry by everything that has transpired publicly. My whole world has turned upside down because of this. And as much as I try to refrain from telling my mom certain things because we are very, very much different in how we respond to things, she sees the pain this has caused me. I do not question your intentions at all. I do not hold anything against you. All you can do is go off of what you've been told, just like everyone else. I want to believe what Lila said. She said Tyler, but I'm going to say Lila. I want to believe what Lila says so bad because all I want is for this to be over, but it's tough. It truly is. And I understand being uneasy. This has been messy since the beginning, though. And if I'm being completely honest, it's nobody's fault but Tyler's. Period. I still wish y'all absolutely the best, and I hope it all ends soon. And that's that. And I'm sorry, you're giving so much grace, but nobody's acknowledging the fact that these are your kids, you are their mother, and you had to deal with their father going on national television and denouncing them to the world. Like, I'm really kind of shocked here that is just never mentioned, not once. Like, hey, yeah, social media is beating my ass, but I just want to say, I'm sorry for what's going on with you. I'm sorry about your kids. I know this must be hard for them. Like, let's meet up. Let's talk. Like,
yeah. And then after that nice message that BRI sends her, BRI posted her videos very shortly after, and Ashley blocked her. Like, I don't know. Like, I know, like, Jessie feels like, or you can let me know, like, Jessie feels like Ashley knows what's going on. And it's like, to me, I know you do not want to admit that social media knows more than you, because that's embarrassing, but that is at the hands of Lila for telling you a half truth. But like, to me, it's so clear this girl is saying stuff with her chest that she does not have a full scope of what is going on, but she doesn't want to, because she won't even talk to you. She automatically brushed your videos off as some lie.
Has Brian McLight or Ashley come forward and asked to see the children?
No. And as I stated in the beginning, it's not an option. So it doesn't matter. They don't want to. Tyler's made it very clear. He does not want anything to do with these children. So no, they have not asked to see these kids.
I saw when your mother was live with Story. I'm sorry. When your mother was live with Ricky, your mother said that Tyler was basically manipulating you guys by trying to keep you quiet, by telling you that if you guys said anything, that he would leave this earth.
Yeah. It was, I want to say, it wasn't after I said my story. I think it was when I made the first post about like how he lied about being alone for Christmas and all that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
He reached out and said, I don't remember the exact text messages, but he did mention, suicide, which is very, very, very touchy subject for me.
Yeah.
Yeah, he reached out and I was like, you know what? This is still the father of my children. I'm going to remove this. Like, how important is it for me to put out my truth? For my kids, very important, because I don't want them, like thinking that I just let whoever say whatever they want about them. But a life is very important to me, and he's still the father of my kids. So I took my post down, and I responded to him. I let him know, like, hey, it's very unfair that you're trying to put this on me. Somehow blame me when I'm just reacting to what is on national television. But I do hope you choose to live. And yeah, I took my post down.
Yeah, I think that's important to note, because I think we hear in Ashley's Wild Files interview say, well, she's contributing it to it. She like put stuff up and then she deleted everything, as if you didn't have any reason for deleting it. You deleted it because you were faced with a threat that you found credible, and you didn't want him to do that. I mean, personally, like people can see that as a manipulation tactic.
And sometimes you don't know.
You don't know exactly. So you delete the post because you don't want anything to happen to him, and you're trusting his word at this point that, you know what, it's going to be cleared up at the reunion.
Correct.
Because again, this happened reunion. He was trying to get that reunion and these interviews filmed before you spoke. That's obvious.
Yeah. I think for you at this point, at this juncture, when I did my live, just basically matching up all the legalities with what you said. So you were always telling the truth. I was able to find that Tyler has to go to court November 15th. Do you care to share what that will be pertaining to?
Yeah. So there was already a court date set for contempt of court.
Mm-hmm.
Years ago, I filed for child support, which I already said. I didn't wait for this money that I guess he's getting. I don't know. But and then whenever he decided to leave their life again, I said, you know what, I'm gonna go file for contempt of court. He was found in contempt, but in Maryland, or maybe it's just Baltimore, I don't know. He's given the chance to get out of contempt. So the last court date we had, he didn't show up. It was ordered like he pay a certain amount of money for however long, and that would get him out of contempt. That has not happened. So when we go to court in a few days, I assume he will be found indeed in contempt of court.
And may I also, I mean, I don't know if you would know anything about this, but we were also able to find that he owes several people money. There have been several women, even before you came forward, or your mother, or before anybody found your Facebooks or anything, there were other women coming forward saying that he owed them money, and we were able to find judgments that were handed out by the court. There was one lady who he owes $8,000 to. There was another lady that he owed a couple $1,000s to. Like, did you know anything about that?
No, I knew nothing about money that he owed.
Yeah, I talked to those women myself. That was pretty shocking. I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah, it was a lot. And then on the show too, we kind of see him talk about different job abuse. Well, when he first goes on the show, he's a nuclear security officer. When the show premieres, he's an account manager. Now he's saying that he's putting up dry walls. But also on the show too, there's a scene where he kind of lies to Ashley's father and says that he is in nuclear security, but the way he said it was, so he deals with computers a lot. And Ashley's father was like, oh my God, so you're really smart. He kind of positioned it, like it was something else. Was he someone who bounced around with jobs, or was he always just a security guard?
No, in the beginning he had his job at the nuclear plant. And I think at some point he decided, he wanted to change careers, and that's when maybe he bounced around. I haven't spoken to him in over a year, so like whatever his new job is, I would love to know, because maybe I could, get some child support. But I'm not sure. I don't know anything about his current job, but I do know like he had a great job. He chose, as far as I know, because I can only say what he's told me. As far as I know, he chose to change his career because he was just wanted to change. So
probably a lie. I think we've all decided you can't believe anything that actually comes out of his mouth. So that was probably got fired. That's probably what that meant.
Yeah.
As far as child support, has he ever made any child support payments? Like, because just for anyone who might be confused, you already filed for child support when he disappeared from their lives the first time, correct?
Correct. Before he disappeared, we didn't really have an issue with financials. I would text him and be like, "Hey, I went to the grocery store." Like it's something as small as that, and he would be like, "Okay, I'm gonna send you half." Or, "Hey, I have to buy flights so me and the kids can go home to Louisiana," and he would send money for that. Or they need shoes, or just whatever. I would just text him, and he would just send whatever. Um, I already said we got into it about something financially, and he cut him off. So after that, I was like, okay, you cut him off, and you're also not paying, so I'm gonna, file for child support. He After we came to the agreement, like that he was gonna pay child support, because that was an agreement. No judge said, hey, you're going to pay child support. We agreed on the amount. He paid for like a year, or yeah, like a year. Um, and then he switched his jobs and said he like couldn't pay. I didn't file for contempt. He was back in the kids' lives. And I was like, all right, just hey, come around, like spend time with them. That's more important than like the money right now. And I understand like you're in between jobs, like just trying to be understanding.
Working on it.
Yeah. And so yeah, he paid for like a year and then didn't pay, and I didn't like seek back child support from him until I realized that he came back from the show and he had cut them off, and I was like, yeah, I'm not having this again. So now I'm gonna file for back child support and contempt of court and whatever else I need to.
Yeah. Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah. I mean, I think that what you're doing is, I just think if I was in your position, I would do it the same too, which is listen, I'll just see you in court. I'll just see you in court. And I think just like even the sit down, I feel like it's made clear that from BRI's standpoint, there is no I'm looking for clout. There is no I'm looking to break them up. It is simply we have these 3 children together. You are their father. You stepped up to be their father. Biologically, you are their father. The courts recognize you are their father. Just do what you're supposed to do, which is the bare minimum. Literally, BRI is just literally just asking for the bare minimum.
Right.
And I think it's sad that she has to do this, and especially under these circumstances. BRI, is there anything that you feel that we missed that you feel like the public should know?
I think one thing that I think we missed, and I think it's important, and because it was very hurtful to hear, that his family and friends, we have a lot of mutual friends, his family has been around, been in my house. I allowed my kids to go and spend time with his family, and to say that they agreed that he was just a sperm donor, that was very, very hurtful. There are receipts that his mom would reach out to me, and I mean no disrespect to his mom, but it was very hurtful to see that they agreed to this story that he told. Before all of this aired, I reached out to his mom because she had come around for birthdays in 2023 for the twins' birthday. And then in 2024, this year, she did not even reach out to say happy birthday. So before all of this even came out, I reached out to her and I let her know that I was very hurt by that. And I told her the same thing, like, I pray my kids forgive you one day. Because why come into their lives if if it's been awkward for you or whatever was said. I didn't beg. I didn't ask for y'all to be here. So why do this to my children? So I think it's important to note um, that that they were around willingly. I didn't force anybody to be around my children. And that was very hurtful to hear. So I did want to address that.
Yeah. You can see in messages that Jessie
Yep.
just that you're literally saying like you're choosing to cut them off too. Like, why is this happening again? Like, you're really just like, at this point, you know, Tyler and Ashley have been married for a while, and you've just noticed his absence. And so, yeah, I think I can imagine how hurtful that was to hear about the friends and family and people who have been in your children's lives also going along with this story, which seems absurd that they would think that there's not proof that what he is saying is inaccurate. Sure, like, I think he's holding on to technicalities to say, oh, well, technically I did disappear for a time, so technically I was a donor for Cairo. So, and he's trying to like stretch these truths, like, you know what I mean? And it's honestly insane that he is being painted like some victim. I think that's the problem in all this. I think at one point in Ashley Valthal's interview, she says Tyler didn't ever think that BRI would do this to him.
She also says he's a people pleaser. He's just someone that got in too deep. He was trying to help a family. I also feel too that it's just Tyler gets this hero narrative. He did something for them.
Admirable. That's what Nick.
Yeah, it's
admirable.
It's amazing what he did. And also too, this is another point too. I feel that, and no disrespect to you, BRI, but I feel that if BRI's sexuality was not a focal point, that half of these discussions, I feel like Ashley wouldn't even be bringing them up, because it's the whole, oh, they're lesbians. It's a lesbian couple. It's a lesbian couple. Hey, they're gay. She's gay. She's gay. And it's like,
with a woman. Yeah.
BRI has a vagina.
Yeah.
She has a vagina. It's, guys, sexuality is a spectrum.
Yeah.
Sexuality is a spectrum. We are all, some of us are over here, some of us are over here, some of us drift, some of us are in the middle. Like, it's a spectrum.
Yeah.
And again, no disrespect to you, BRI. BRI's fine as hell.
The amount of people that have said that in my comments is insane, actually.
BRI look good. They was fucking. They was fucking. Them kids came because they was fucking, guys. Vagina, penis, you know, how it's simple.
Even on the Valthal's, we're not hearing any admission that these twins were conceived naturally. She literally at one point says, and then there's rumors that, you know, that they slept together. Oh, there's so many false narratives. And it's like, she just doesn't want to, I don't know if she doesn't want to face the truth, or she genuinely doesn't know the truth. And if that's the case, I pity her. But at the end of the day, like, this is the man that lied to you, not all of us, you know. And to go on public podcast and say that he was just in too deep and couldn't get out, and he was just being too nice, that's a wild narrative.
And then he let them call him dad.
That BRI had a different perspective. That is what Ashley said.
He the pappy.
He's the whole
pappy. He the pappy. Ashley, he the pappy. So yeah, I feel like, you know, again, is there anything else aside from that? I mean, I feel like we've made it clear what this was. You know, is there anything else that we missed?
No, I think for me, from my point of view, I just want to end with, like, the only times I've said this already, the only times I've said anything was in response to Tyler specifically, or like someone in his close circle speaking lies for him. I have not reached out to Tyler. I have not reached out to him. I've responded to him reaching out, but I have not reached out to him in over a year. If Tyler wants nothing to do with my kids, as he and Ashley have both at this point made very clear, then okay, then y'all just go ahead with your lives. Somebody pay his child support that we agreed to. And as I said multiple times over and over again, I really do wish y'all the best. Just leave me out of it. Stop saying lies about me, because if y'all or anyone close to y'all continue to lie on me, I will continue to provide receipts. I have more. I can go however far you want this to go. And I'm just tired of sitting here while me and my kids get lied on.
Yeah.
And I will take this however far it needs to go. If it needs to go straight to hell, then that's where I'll take it.
Period. Every day mama.
Period. Yeah, like you're fighting for your kids, and I think that's the point that everybody is missing here. That if Stan did not go on national TV and lie about your children and lie to his lied to his fiance's face, like she wouldn't be out here looking like a fool trying to defend him, and you wouldn't have to defend your children. Like this is all back on Tyler. This is nobody else's fault but his. Yeah. And hopefully it ends here, because I feel like the story's clear now. Everyone has spoken. It's very clear who's the dishonest one here, and it's not you.
Yeah.
So Ashley wants to avoid that and ignore. That's on her. That's on her at this point. But all the cards are on the table.
Agreed. I feel like the court documents speak it. They all speak what BRI has said, and even what your ex-wife said, like it all matches up. So at the end of the day, there's only one person that's lying, and that's Liler. Before we leave, I just want to make sure everybody understands, like at the center of all this, there are 3 innocent kids. 3 innocent kids who do not deserve to be publicly disregarded like this by their father. Like, as somebody who didn't grow up with my father, I know that was so hurtful to me. I cannot imagine turning on the television one day and possibly seeing my father say, I don't know what he looks like. That is so hurtful. And I think like we're in a society where sometimes we really, really, really disregard the feelings of children. I remember seeing a comment somewhere from Ashley where Ashley was saying, y'all will never bully me for loving like Christ. Ashley, Jesus loved the little children. Jesus loves the little children.
Yeah.
At the center of
something in her interview today, like I don't know, it just was very dismissive of the kids, and they're feeling like, you know, they're young, they'll get over it, you know, if they want to contact him when they're older, then that's on them. It's like that was the feeling.
I saw that.
Like you are just this, because at one point in that interview, not to go back, but you admitted that these children saw him as their biological father. So no matter what you believe, Ashley, if these children saw him as their biological father, no matter the circumstance, why is it okay for him to all of a sudden disappear? Even if he just stepped up, even if that's the narrative you want to go with, even if that's your truth, he just stepped up. Why is he stepping down now? They're young, they'll forget. That's basically what she said.
No, absolutely not. Guys, I just want to open the floor for any one of you guys, if you want to donate. The holidays are coming up. I think that it is very, very brave of BRI to come on here, tell her story. Social media has not been kind. And I think for someone who's this strong to come forward and tell their story, I think it's only right that we honor them and say, you know what, the holidays are coming. We know Tyler ain't buying them no gifts. We might as well, you know, we gonna be the pappy. Right. We're gonna be the pappy. Right. I am going to send BRI something, because I just feel like I've talked about this so much on my platform. The very least I could do is give you something, BRI. So I will definitely give something. Do you have a Cashapp? Do you have a Cashapp?
Yeah, I do have Cashapp. And first, I want to say thank you, because that's very sweet of you. I really appreciate that.
Oh, no problem. No problem.
Yeah, my Cashapp is the same as my Instagram, BRI Thomas 2.
Okay.
Yes, thank you.
So I'll make sure that is on the screen. Is it the Cash App? BRI Thomas 2.
Yes.
So I'll make sure that that's on the screen. And those of you guys who do want to give, please give. Like, please give, especially during this time. It's about to be the holidays, and it's only right that we've all been talking about this. Let's not forget about the kids. There are three kids here that don't deserve what they have received these last couple weeks. So yeah. Any closing remarks, y'all? I feel like we addressed everything. And I feel like, BRI, you're brave to come forward and share your story. Is there anything else? Rikki?
I just think, like I said, I think the full picture's out there now, and BRI came with receipts, and you can't argue with a receipt. Like, I just hate that Tyler's being painted like the victim. And it's like, so many people have told me, you're too invested. Yeah, I am, when there's kids involved that no longer have their father. So yeah, I know we've been talking for a while, BRI. I've known this truth for a while. I've been trying to release them DMs for a while, and she would not let me. She's like, no, please. Like, he's going, like, giving everyone so much grace. And I think, she came out and told her story, and I'm proud of you, and I'm happy that you did it. And, I hope that people can see your intent behind this was strictly to protect your children and the lies that were being spread about them and you, so.
Period.
Yeah.
Well, on that note, thank you guys so much for watching. And BRI, thank you again. We appreciate you. And we wish you all the very best.
Thank you. Thank y'all.
You're welcome. Thank you so much for watching this interview, guys. Again, please, 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 if you can find it in your heart to give something to these children, please do. I have already done so, and I hope that you guys who are watching find it in your heart to do the same. I feel it's only right because, we've been talking about this family for the past month. So it's only right that we bless these 3 kids who are being obviously mistreated in the worst way. So find it in your heart. Send a Cashapp. Again, BRI's Cashapp is right here. So feel free to find it in your heart to bless her and bless her children. Again, I love you guys. Thank you so much for your support. And with that, we're going to put Love is Blind DC to rest. I'll see you guys in the next video. Take care of yourselves and each other. Bye.
All these diamonds on my body and they crystal clear. I make magic with these hundreds, watch them disappear. Big ol' raindrops up in my ear. If you gon' name drop, let's get it clear. Jessie, ooh, BB.